We all experience pain at some point in our lives, which in most cases is short-lived and manageable. However, for some it lasts months or even years and has a devastating impact on sufferers' lives. I'm Dr. Jazeera in New York to visit the Pain Center to see the latest developments in the treatment of chronic pain. It's estimated that 1.5 billion people worldwide suffer from varying degrees of chronic pain, which is defined as lasting more than 3 to 6 months or longer than the natural healing time of an injury. Christopher Francis was a New York firefighter, a veteran of 9/11. As a result of an accident 4 years ago, he has had severe pain in his leg and is unable to work.
The foot doesn't communicate with the brain anymore. So it doesn't know, the foot doesn't know if it should be hot, doesn't know if it should be cold. It's very sensitive at sometimes, and that sensitivity could lead to pain on the slightest touch. Sometimes at night, it's unbearable. You know, my son didn't want to play baseball with me anymore because if I missed the ball, I couldn't. By the time I can go limp over there and get it, you know, he could already have it. So those things with my children became old very quick, and that affects your mood. And I have a little girl. If you get her to the mall, I'm kind of like an embarrassment to her. So she just kind of like runs off like that's not my dad.
Chris has tried all sorts of treatment, including physical therapy and many different drugs.
I don't know what else is out there. This is like the last, this is it. I've come to meet Dr. Christopher Winfrey of the Pain Center here at New York Presbyterian Hospital, Columbia. He's very much at the forefront of chronic pain management. The center specializes in most types of pain, including neuropathic pain.
Neuropathic pain is pain that occurs along somewhere in the nerve or central nervous system pathway, which may be described as electrical, or numbing, or burning, or pins and needles, which is just a totally different type of subjective experience than, say, pain from a laceration or a bone fracture or something like that.
Why might someone have chronic pain in the first place?
A certain percentage of patients develop chronic pain after either an injury or a certain type of, say, spinal arthritis. Why do some get chronic pain that becomes devastating and some don't? And no one really knows the answer to that question.
Dr. Winfrey and his team have been enhancing a treatment known as neuromodulation.
And in the 1960s, physicians and scientists realized that if you apply an electrical current to a sensory pathway, either along a peripheral nerves here in the extremities, legs and arms, the spinal nerve roots, and if you apply an electrical current that the patient can perceive, they can feel it as a tingling sensation, then that electrical current can block pain signals coming from the body part where they feel that electrical current.
The new, minimally invasive method is performed through a percutaneous incision, which means just a small puncture in the skin. The electrode on the end of a needle is then guided to the nerve using ultrasound.
Using our percutaneous technique, no operations. They have a needle, that's it. It's simple when I describe it like this. It's actually probably a lot more complicated.
It's 6 a.m. I'm on my way back to the hospital. It's Chris's big day. I'm looking forward to seeing him and seeing the procedure, and hopefully there'll be some good results.
If you look at the left leg here, it's a lot darker than that one. I'm not talking about the tattoos, I'm talking about the skin.
Yes.
So you see how it's pretty sensitive to touch, right?
Yes.
So maybe I won't touch there, but can I touch here?
I can feel pressure.
And it's pretty cold there. This is nice and warm, and this is cool. So our goal today is to put an electrode on the sciatic nerve to cover basically everything from the knee down, or as much of that as we can get. Now today's just a trial.
Right.
So even if we just get a portion of that, maybe the top of the foot or the bottom of the foot, if we get enough so that you can make some decisions about whether the stimulation where you're feeling it helps the pain where you're feeling it, that's good enough. So, oh, one last thing I got to do.
You have to get the right leg, well, the correct leg. In this case, it's the left leg, not the right leg.
Yes.
Yeah. So there we go.
Do we have a 3M?
Chris is lying face down. He's just being prepared for the procedure. He's had to have his leg shaved. And they're just doing a very quick ultrasound just to get an idea of the depth of the nerve.
This is superficial, like skin and fascia, some subcutaneous soft tissue, maybe muscle here even, hamstring muscles possibly, and then the sciatic nerve right in between. So we're going to be aiming to put the electrode on the superficial side
Nerves run in bundles with veins and arteries. It's called a neurovascular bundle. So the whole point of the ultrasound is to ensure you don't go into the artery or the vein.
So see the artery and vein, nerve superficially, vessels down deep. We're going to stay away from the vessels.
So once the prep's done, what's your sort of plan for the next 20 minutes?
And bring the ultrasound in and image the nerve again, and then we'll see. We'll see how that works, and if that works, and if not, then we can modify the plan accordingly based on what other structures we're seeing, what other needs we have. That's why we do this with patients awake, so they can give us feedback to optimize the stimulation coverage of the affected body part, in this case, the leg. Ultrasound guides, we can see exactly where the needle is, keep it away from the vessels, do this safely. And in doing so, save this patient, and any patient like him, at least one and sometimes two open surgical procedures. So it's less pain, less anesthesia, less operative time, cost effective, less hassle for the patient, less recovery time for the patient. This technology allows us to do all of that. Poke, and
You can see it straight away.
you can see the needle, right?
There it is.
And you see the tip,
Tip is right there.
a little flatter
Yeah, much flatter.
through
right
the
top,
fascia. Still not too close to the nerve, right across the top of it.
right across the top.
So this is an extension cable that just connects the wire that we just put in, the stimulator, to the programmer, which Eric has.
You feel it in your toes? Do you feel it on the top of your toes? Do you feel tingling there?
Yeah, burning.
Do you,
It's the top of the foot, so that's kind of where we expected. What we're going to do is just explore what range of stimulation sensations we get with the electrode in the current position.
Once Dr. Winfrey is happy, Chris is sent off to recover and to learn how to control the device.
This is the remote control. Very simple.
Does it change channel on TV?
I wish. It won't change channel, it won't turn on the microwave, it won't, control the
popcorn?
navigation. Doesn't make popcorn and that stuff. White button turns the stimulation on.
Okay.
Gray button turns the stimulation off.
Color's back to normal. Can I touch here now? Does that bother you?
I don't feel it. I was never able to do that before.
That's quite firm, actually. You're tapping.
Yeah, that was something we couldn't do before. When I see you in the office, we'll cut the stitches, pull the electrode out,
Okay.
and we'll make a decision about whether that electrode helped you or not. If the system helped, then we can go ahead and get you scheduled for permanent implantation.
Right.
And then once you have that implanted, you can have that the rest of your life. I'm encouraged, and I'll see you in a couple days.
I appreciate it.
If Chris decides to have the permanent implant, it will be connected to a battery positioned under the skin on the side of his thigh, which would only need replacing every 10 years. While Chris's road to recovery is a long one, things are currently looking good.
I'm stumped. I'm lost for words at this point. If I have less pain, I should be able to walk further. I should be able to do some more activities. Pretty much just get back to a normal everyday life without living every single day in pain. So this is monument for me. This is big. This is very big.